we are going to look at our daily agenda. Let's pop this out. All right, now the exciting question. Are you seeing this full screen?
Yes.
Yes, yay, thank you. I have learned, I really have to ask every time, because every time I don't ask, somehow it's not working and people don't tell me. Today, our agenda is to review our evolution of technology innovation projects. We're going to look at a couple of those. I have not received one from everyone. We've got about 20 in the hopper. I have one person who's asked for an extension. So guys, if you're not getting your projects in on time, Sarah, can I help you?
Yeah, can I turn in mine tomorrow too? I'm not done yet.
Absolutely. No, for this quarter, I am not docking anyone for being late for anything. We're all in a very strange new world. We're all trying our hardest. I know some people, Andy, right, are having difficulty with technology. Those kinds of things. I will say, come next quarter, we will probably be trying to be a little more formal and codified about, are we going to be taking off points for late, those kinds of things. Like everything, I want to ramp up to this. I want everyone to feel that they're in a good place, that they're up to speed, they know they can handle these projects. I'm going to be reaching out to, we have a bunch of students who are not passing at this point. And that is really, you should be passing this course. This course is not incredibly difficult. It is going over some funky, interesting ideas, but the ways I am grading you are very straightforward and do not take that much time. The big projects, yes, they take time and you have to go in and you have to search and you have to learn. And I think that ideally is part of the fun of this class, is that you get to create presentations of your own. What I do feel are incredibly simple are the vocabulary tests. Just so everyone knows, the vocabulary words are in the title of the vocabulary test. So today's vocabulary words will be technological evolution and rate of change. Sometimes when we say vocabulary word, it's actually words. It can be, like technological evolution. These are concepts that I'm just trying to get you to think about the definition, possibly look up the definition, write it down, create a picture. In theory, these are multiple ways for you to capture this concept in your mind. They're visual, they're auditory, they're kinesthetic, you're having to create things. These are just trying to get these vocabulary concepts to come home to you so that you have that foundation when you're looking at the world of how things work. I think one of the really fun things about this course is that it's about how things really work. How do people invent things? How do you take an invention and create an innovation? How do you create a business? How do you find a good idea? What do you do once you have a good idea? This course is going to give you some very foundational ideas about how in life you take advantage of opportunities that are presented to you. It's trying to give you a formulaic way to analyze an opportunity and create a viable product, okay? So anybody who has problems, worries, technical issues, has not gotten their work in, please come to our check-in tomorrow on Wednesday. I will help you out. I'll identify whatever you need to do, and I'll help you understand what the easiest way to get it done is. I want everybody passing this course, okay? So moving on. We have seen our slide. We're going to go back in our module. Let's start with some fun. Would anyone like to present their innovations project? I've got about 20 of them that have been turned in. Is anyone particularly proud or excited about their project or what they learned and would like to present? I don't think you need to read through every single slide, but just give us sort of a thumbnail of each innovation, because I'd like to get through about 3 of them, mostly because if a lot of people haven't turned their project in yet, this is a great way to see what people are doing. I am not going to say that you can't work on the innovation of the cell phone, but I will say that the cell phone seems to be the most popular innovation that anyone has covered.
Wait, can I still turn in the baseball card project?
Yes, absolutely. You can, again, get all your back work in.
All right.
What is going to be most important for your score is going to be the quizzes and your projects. The quizzes and projects go in what's called tasks and assessments. This is a term from Synergy. Those are 90% of your grade. The homework, warm-ups, exit cards, things like that are all going into practice and something. Those are only 10% of your grade. So getting all your warm-ups done, but not getting your vocabulary test done is not really helping you. Because even if you have 100% on all the warm-ups, that's only 10% of your grade. So that's only going to lift a little bit, where every assignment that's worth 90% of your grade is going to lift your grade a lot more, 9 times more than the warm-ups. So just understand that dichotomy in terms of what needs to get in and what doesn't. Everybody should be able to sit down and knock out all these vocabulary tests in an hour. The words are right in the title. All you have to do is tell me the word, tell me the definition of the word, ideally as it pertains to technology, because as I say, technology seems to make words have different meanings, or it has a little different spin on it. I don't mind if it's just the straight dictionary definition. That's great. Once we get into these double word things, that's going to be hard to get. You can go back into the presentation. You have the presentation in the module. You can use my words. If you get it out of the dictionary, I just want an attribution. Webster says, technology is anything made by man. As you stated in the lecture, technology is anything made by man. You can take other people's words and use them. You just need to say where they're coming from. That's also a big lesson of our course, is how to give a proper attribution or citation, how to let people know that you are using the work of other people in your presentation. That is fully acceptable. You can do that. We call it standing on the shoulders of giants. We have all these scientists, inventors, and technologists who came before us. Use their ideas, steal from them, but, well, don't steal from them, borrow their ideas and let us know where they came from. Because we all do this. This is how things evolve. You look at the ideas of the past and you create the ideas of the future. Okay. Anybody feeling brave and want to share out their presentation? Otherwise, I will
share my presentation. I have I'm not sure, because I did the mattress and there wasn't that much information on it. Most of the information came from mattress store websites and stuff.
So you did the bed. I'm all excited to see that. Well, let's take a look.
It says you've disabled screen sharing.
Okay, let me, so do you have your project and can you present it, or do you want, I can present it and you can just talk about it?
I could present it, but it
Okay,
says you have disabled
no problem. Hang on.
sharing. Yeah.
We're gonna advance. All right, we are good to go. You should be able to share now. Okay.
Um. So for most of the, for like most of the, up till the 19th century, there wasn't really an inventor for the bed, like for mattresses. Like I guess they all just kind of used mattresses, but the oldest mattress known is 77,000 years old. Like before, it's it was 77,000 years old, and it was found in South Africa, and it was just made of like um grass and, yeah, basically like soil and grass covered in like a sheet. And then as like time went on in the 5th century, the mattresses were stuffed with feathers and stuff. And then in the 18th century became cotton. In the 19th century, they actually started adding spring wires and like.
We've lost you. Are you losing me? Chantal? We lost you.
Bed and stuff.
Oh, there we go. You're back.
Yeah, all the way up until the new one where it's like you can create, like you can change its temperature and like the heights, like it has different heights and stuff.
Wow. It actually goes up and down?
Yeah, like it actually moves, and you can have like an app on your phone to control it. But yeah, the waterbed was created by Charlie. I can't see the name because right now I'm sharing it. I can't see the rest of the name, but it was created by Charlie someone. And then the Murphy bed was created by William Murphy. And then the sleep number 360 was created by Robert and Joanne Walker. They're a married couple, and they have this company where they make beds. And yeah, my citations, like since I mostly found it from like mattress stores, like I didn't really know.
Right.
Yeah, like they didn't.
That all looks fine. Ideally, you're giving the author, if you could find it, the date, the name of the article.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
So, and sleep number is
like
fine. Hang on, I can't hear you. Ooh, a brief history of beds.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like, it was hard to find because there wasn't that much about like the date and who specifically wrote that article. A lot of like for the first one and the third one, I had to just put the name of the company.
No, that seems perfect. That seems very rational. A lot of times, I mean, I find a lot of internet articles do not seem to have any identifier as to who wrote this. They are just being put out by the company. Yeah. So the idea that you've got the name of the company, a date, what the name of the article is, that all looks great. And a link. The link is really what's wonderful, because then I can go there and take a look around. Yeah. The only thing that I would say is go back to your big image page. Oh, I think what's interesting here is that your timeline has a lot more explanation than this page, but it's wonderful to have you explaining it. I would rather have seen each one of these on a separate slide so that you could actually say a little something about them. Okay. But don't worry, I think this is really beautiful. And I think that the idea of the mattress is such an interesting and innovative idea. I think your presentation looks very beautiful and clean. I like your images and I like your ideas. The 77,000-year-old bed does not look that comfortable.
Yeah.
But it's that idea of like a straw mattress and stuff, or that they used to use like corn husks and stuff is another one that they would stuff stuff with. I love the 18th century, the nice little old ladies sewing the mattress. You know, it all had to be done by hand. Ooh, the wire, well, it's the box spring is what's under there. Okay, well, great job, Chantal. And thank you so much for being brave and showing this to us. It's really gorgeous. Really nice job.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the mattress. Wow, great work. Somebody else have a fun presentation that they'd like to present?
Could I go?
Sure.
Could you present for me?
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me. Participants has slid over. Let me just find you first. There we go. Ooh. Hang on, it's having trouble loading. Uh-oh, it says my internet's unstable. It's not a good sign. If I disappear, don't worry, I'll be back. I'm sorry. Says it? Oh, no. Yes, here we go. Okay. Hang on. All right, I'm going to try this. I've never tried this before. Ooh, look. The evolution of YouTube. Okay, you're on.
So I did mine on the evolution of YouTube because I feel like other than Netflix, I'm always on YouTube a lot. And it's interesting because it didn't really change like the beds. It was more of like new features added, things taken away, and things to kind of improve YouTube. And I would say something that I really liked researching and getting into was YouTube rentals, like renting movies and things like that, because back in like 2002 they had the same feature. I'm pretty sure everyone has heard of this, the red box. And back in 2002 it was pretty popular. People would get their movies, video games too, and rent it out. But as soon as YouTube came out with YouTube rentals, Redbox started dying. And I think it started dying because people found it easier to rent something online than going. Did he just leave?
Yeah.
Can I just
now?
Can I just like continue, or should I wait for him?
You should wait.
All right, Sarah, how are you doing?
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm the host because it like I'm able to.
Oh, you're the host now.
So just bring back.
This is Chantal.
Okay. He's back.
Mr. Swift, is he back?
Yeah, I think he's back, but he's muted.
I'm muted. That's the.
All right.
I'm back. I swear. Thank you, everyone, for waiting. Apologies. I don't know why my internet goes in and out like that. let's get us, what the heck? Okay. Am I still sharing? I don't think so.
No.
No. Hang on. Let me get to. All right. Okay. This is where we were. So Danielle, I was just, so you were explaining, I was just wondering, am I on the right slide?
I think it's slide 5, YouTube rentals.
Okay. Oh, there we are. Okay. So you've got the basic timeline. You've got these different features of, wow, look at all the stuff you found of the different dates. So then what was the first innovation in 2005?
It wasn't really an innovation. It was simply just created. And this was like the very first form of YouTube.
Okay. Then 2008.
Yeah, then 2008, they made it a platform where YouTubers could actually gain money. So they started actually paying people for putting out content and like promoting ads on their videos.
Nice. No, and that was a big innovation. I know my son had aspirations of being a YouTuber and had his own channel. Okay, and then we went through YouTube rentals. I didn't realize that YouTube was tied to Redbox.
It wasn't tied to Redbox. I just added Redbox to the slide because that's 2010
similar.
was really the time where Redbox started falling because everyone was jumping straight into YouTube rentals.
Right. No, crazy Blockbuster too.
And then of course YouTube Live was a pretty huge thing, especially when Obama had like his whole speech on YouTube Live, and instead of watching it on your TV, I found it funny because a lot of people were watching it on YouTube Live. Even if you were a kid, you were on that live and just like looking at the new feature instead of actually kind of watching the live stream. That was the first live stream actually. The one Obama had, presented.
Very cool. And here we go to 60 frames per second.
Yeah. And
now, this is a questionable thing. This is my specialty. Really? I am not a big fan of 60 frames per second. It's good, and like, actually, I think at Geographic we used to shoot in that, but you always end up presenting in 30 frames. 60 frames per second makes everything a little more ultra real, a little more surrealistic. Like the idea when you look, in the old days, when you looked at a soap operas look super real because they were in video, where like your regular sitcoms were actually shot on film, which is 24 frames per second. Wow, look at that. So then,
YouTube TV, and it's like this new thing. My uncle actually has it, and we were talking a lot about it. And most of the sources I got was literally from YouTube itself, because once you like click on it, YouTube TV kind of gives you a description about what it's about and what it has to offer. And right. I think it's pretty cool because they give out this idea that you don't really need cable anymore. You just need an HDMI cable or a smart TV and you're good to go. You'll be paying less every month and you'll be saving overall.
Okay, so this is feeding very nicely into what we're going to be looking at. I think we're going to be looking at some advertising and how things evolve. One of the things we're noticing, both Chantal and Daniela were having to use the company's website to get their information from. Can anyone tell me what is a problem you'll encounter when you're going to the company's website to get your information about a product?
it could be biased toward their product, or maybe like leaving out some of the
negative
of it.
thoughts. Exactly. It's not, this is not that is wrong. Every company is going to try and make their product look like the latest, greatest, best thing. They are not going to tell you what is wrong with their product. They are not going to tell you anything bad about their product. They are going to tell you everything in as positive a way as they possibly can. And that's because it's their product. So when you're getting information directly from companies, you just need to be a little extra skeptical of what the claims are that they're making, because they are talking about their own product. I mean, a fabulous example would be the tobacco industry. The tobacco industry has promoted, cigarettes and smoking as a lifestyle choice. It makes you look better, for dieting. But the reality is that cigarette smoking causes cancer. Cancer kills you. That is not information you are going to see on their website or historically on their website. Now, because of a bunch of lawsuits, you may. Okay, I'm going to stop there. If we can get more in, we'll try and look at a couple more in the next class. I want to get into our lecture today and see if we can get through that. We may not. But this has been wonderful. Really great work, both Chantal and Daniela. Different looks, different ways, both very well researched, very in-depth. And what really excites me is that you're looking at something that interests you, that piqued your curiosity. I really want this to be one of my favorite things. Was my English teacher made us keep a journal. And he said, every time your needle kicks, you should write down whatever it was that kicked your needle. And what that means, it's an analog term, not a digital term. That if you had a meter on your head that showed your interest in something, and when you saw something interesting, your needle would flip over, to the red out of the green because you were so interested in it. Pay attention to the things that kick your needle. What is it that really interests you? I want you to be able to explore those things in this course. So YouTube, I love YouTube. Let's learn more about it. How did they become successful? How did they create that pay structure? All that. Great work. The bed. I would never think of innovating a bed, but again, it's that idea. We spend a third of our lives in our bed. So that's a very cool thing. All right, I'm going to get into the main event and we will take it from there. Let me get us back into our module. Come on. Oh, let's not. There we are. All right. Now we are going into our fabulous week 7 vocabulary. Let me get this in present mode and I will make sure. Oh, that's not going to work. Oh, come on, hang on, where is? Okay. Right, here we are. Okay, everyone seeing this full screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so technological evolution and rate of change, exponential design at unposted speeds. We're going to be looking at the evolution of technology, just what all our projects are about. How have inventions been innovated? How does technology evolve? And one of the things is that it evolves faster with time. That all evolution from the year 0 to now has been increasing over time. In the 1800s, you're not getting that many new inventions. Today, you're getting thousands. So the history of technology is the times past of the invention of tools and techniques and is, hang on, and is similar to many other sides of our human story. Okay, the history of technology is the times past of the invention of tools and techniques and is similar to many other sides of our human story. Technology can refer to methods ranging from as simple as language and stone tools to the complex genetic engineering and information technology that has emerged since the 1980s. The term technology was first used to describe applied arts, but it is now used to describe advancements and changes that affect the environment around us. This is another example of how words, when we're talking about technology, are sort of warped to fit this technological world. That they had to create the language for technology because it's new. Whoop. Okay, I don't know that I have a Jennifer. All right. New knowledge has enabled people to create new things, and conversely, many scientific endeavors are made possible by technologies which assist humans, like traveling to places they could not previously reach, and by scientific instruments by which we study nature in more detail than our natural senses allow. So these are things like remote sensing, the idea that they can put a camera on a bird nest and you can watch it the whole year without human intervention, all kinds of things. Much technology today is considered applied science, with its technical history credited with being connected to the history of science. Since technology uses resources, the technical history is tightly connected to the economic history. So remember that? All technology needs resources. So since technology uses resources, technical history is tightly connected to economic history. If access to resources is easy, you get more technical production. If access to resources is limited, your technology will also be limited. From those resources, technology produces other resources, including technological artifacts used in everyday life. Not quite sure why that's underlined. Technological change affects and is affected by a society's cultural traditions. It is a force for economic growth and a means to develop and project economic, political, and military power. Why is, I mean, here's a silly question. Why is the US considered a superpower? Let me make sure that I've got chats and stuff. Right. Can anyone tell me, thinking about our presentation, why, and I don't even get the chat when I'm presenting. All right. Why is America, the United States, a superpower? Can anyone unmute?
Because it has the most advanced military arsenal. Okay.
It's got an advanced military arsenal. That's a big stick that we wield to make us a superpower. How can we afford an advanced military arsenal that's better than anyone else's? Or in theory, better than anyone else's, we hope. How was America, a country that's only 250 years old, in a position to have better, military forces than England, the country that they broke away from 250 years ago?
We have a lot of economic power.
Brilliant suggestion. We have a lot of economic stuff going on. America is famous for, again, this is a stereotypical term, Yankee ingenuity. Yankee ingenuity is typically geared towards like the Northeast, you know, the Massachusetts area. This was back in the colonial days, the idea that Americans were very creative. Americans had the advantage over a lot of countries that we were basically, like Australia, a dumping ground for undesirables. America was a new frontier that you could get, if you were sent to prison in England, you could get sent to America instead of going to jail. As a result, like what the Statue of Liberty says, you know, bring me your meek, bring me your cripple, bring me your poor and destitute. America was an outlet for people who were religiously persecuted, who didn't fit in. But by having that, what we call a melting pot in America, a melting pot is bringing people from all over the world to one place and then having them live there, and they all sort of melt together, that they become Americans. That background of having those perspectives from Germany, from Sweden, from Italy, from Ireland, all these different people, you know, from Africa, from all these different people's perspectives gave us the ability to create an incredible economic powerhouse. We were able to invent things. Nikola Tesla is an immigrant. We are able to innovate things. We were able to, our country is very large. So as a result, what do we have a lot of? When we had very few technological resources, what did we have a lot of in this country that we could take advantage of? Anybody? Come on, be brave. We didn't have a lot of technical resources. With the whole United States of America in, let's say, 1740, what was there abundance of?
Natural resources. Natural
resources. Thank you, Natalie. That is exactly what I'm going for. And we were able to exploit those natural resources. You know, sadly, the Golden Triangle that took slaves from Africa to the Caribbean and then picked up molasses and sugar from the Caribbean to take up to the Yankee states, you know, in Massachusetts, to then sell the slaves and the sugar products, molasses. And then the Yankee state, you know, the North, you know, Boston was the heartbeat of the colonial world. They would export the raw materials of America to Europe to get their profit, so that they were exporting timber, tar, I can't think, you know, tobacco. Tobacco was a big thing that America had that everyone wanted. Those were all money-making ways of utilizing the abundance that America had. That is how America came to be a superpower, because we created an economy that was bigger and stronger than any other of our European rivals. And that was, you know, by our American ingenuity. All right, enough of that pep talk. So let's just say the technological change affects and is affected by a society's cultural traditions. Our traditions are coming together as a unified people, as Americans, but having our roots all around the world. That is an American cultural tradition. It is a force of economic growth and a means to develop and project economic, political, and military power. The US is able to project economic, political, and military power as a result of their economic growth. And that is driven by technology, okay? Technological evolution, our word of the day, can be defined as an innovation approach and technology-related theory that describes the radical transformation of society through its human-made developments. So what is something that has radically changed our society? Let's just say in the last 20 years. What would you say is the one thing that has most radically transformed our society in the last 20 years? I don't have chat, or I would ask for the chat. Anyone just sing out. What do you think in terms of technology has transformed our society? What are kids? What's that, Yafet?
Cell phones.
Electronics, yes, but I would say more specifically, the cell phone. The one thing that everybody wants to do their project about. I swear, half our projects are the evolution of the cell phone. But that's great because the cell phone is so integral to who so many of students or youth are today. My sons, I don't think they could go an hour without their cell phone. So that ability to access information in the palm of your hand has really changed our society. It has influenced. When you walk on the street, just look around you. There are all these people staring down at their hands walking along. They're like ready to bump into a light post. People are not living in the world today. They are living in their phone and through their electronics. Okay, so technological evolution can be defined as an innovation approach and technology-related theory that describes the radical transformation of society through its human-made developments. Technological evolution is about how society has evolved as a result of human-made developments or the development of technology. Does that make sense to everyone? We okay on that?
Yes.
So thanks. Here's a little timeline. This is the cell phone timeline. Ooh, the brick. My wife swears that she can't hear in her left ear as a result of the brick. The brick was about a 2-pound cell phone. But for records, there were originally wax recordings on cylinders, 78 RPM shellac recordings, 33 RPM vinyl, then tapes, then CDs, and now you've just got files. Evolution of audio in entertainment versus telephony. Okay, so let's see. 1876 is Bell's liquid transmitter. I had no idea that thing was full of liquid. So that's the original phone. Then 1880 is this funky crank phone. Anybody know what this crank does on the side of the phone? Anybody? Can you give a guess?
Maybe it's like controlling the volume.
Nope. Nope, it's much more basic than that. It's electricity. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it provide energy like a hamster wheel, like when you spin it?
If you've ever watched a 50s or 60s war movie, and the guys are under combat, and the radio man comes up, and they've got to crank the radio before they can make their call. It's a little generator in the phone, and I don't know why. I'm guessing that the lines needed help. An interesting thing, when you have a blackout at home, your phone lines don't go down. Your phone lines are powered through a different system than the main electrical grid. So that had to be a part of why they needed to power up the phone before you could make a call in 1880. You've got the classic candlestick style phone. Oh, everyone's favorite, Bell Labs, the rotary phone. That was the phone I grew up with. First mobile phone service, 1946. Boy, that's a lot earlier than I would have thought. Then the trim line, the Princess phone. That's pretty interesting innovation. I don't know what a DECT is. Okay, then, so that's the telephone's evolutionary timeline. This is recordings. So the first, now that's weird though. Why don't they go back to the wax discs? Because originally it was wax. That was what they had in the one just before this. So they're saying that these discs are made out of shellac, I'm guessing. Then we went to a vinyl disc in 48, 12 inch, 33 RPMs. Ooh, look, the 1949 was when the single came out. Singles were these weird little, sorry, I'm wandering. They're these weird little discs that they spun at a faster speed at 45 RPMs. And this was how a hit came out. So if a band introduced a new record, they might also come out with a single. And then the weird thing was the flip side of the single, because with the single, you only played the first side for the most part. That was the famous song. And then there was some other song on the backside that nobody really cared about. The cassette tape was invented in 63. Ooh, the 8-track in 64. The 8-track was really designed to go into cars. And I think it's because tape machines have what's called wow and flutter. If you're bouncing around the tape machine, the path that the tape is going through tends to get wiggled and stuff. And so it made weird noises. Compact disc in 82, mini disc in 92, satellite radio, 2001, the iPod in 2001, and HD radio in 2002. I hate to say, it just shows you how old this chart is. Okay, evolution of the bicycle. Wow. I think the first bicycle didn't have pedals. Ooh, look, this is a tricycle velocipede. Then the high wheel bicycle was 1870. The safety bicycle is basically the modern bicycle, 1885. 1960 was the racing bike, and then 2000 was the mountain bike. All right, I don't think we need to keep going through these. We've seen our projects. These look familiar, but this is the idea of a timeline, of how you create a timeline. This one's nice because it's much cleaner and simpler. Ideally, you want to understand where each piece is coming in the timeline. What's strange is they have no markings on the line itself. So 1769, Nicholas Joseph invented the steam car. Then Carl Benz invented the motor car, which worked on gasoline. 1903 is the Model T. 1912 was the car key. Oh, look, first car seats for sale. That seems like a weird one. Seatbelt is invented in 59, and 97 is the hybrid. Top 10 media timeline. So these are all evolutions. So telegraph is invented in 1837. 1866, the first radio is invented by Marconi. 1876, the first landline is invented. Let's go back to our, okay, that's saying the liquid transmitter is 1876. These things don't seem to be internally synced. So you always do need to keep looking back and referencing things to make sure what you're seeing is accurate. If something doesn't make sense to you or seems a little off, check it out. Your instincts are usually spot on. First computer was invented in 1936. First television, 1934. First newspaper, 2000. That cannot be true. The first newspaper invented in 2000? That is just plain wrong. The first cellular phone invented in 1973. I believe that is true. The iPod 2001, blah, blah, blah. All right, we are almost out of time. Let's go through the Queen Victoria timeline. So this is looking at the speed of technological advancement. 1829, Stephenson's rocket wins the Rainhill trials. I'm guessing that that is a train racing a horse and wagon. It's sort of like the, why can't I think of who's a steel driving man? The competition between, let's say this time period, the 1830s, the competition between laborers and mechanized things, or people who worked in horses versus the car, it was very contested. People hadn't seen technology like this. They hadn't seen engines. They hadn't seen people that could drive in a car that made weird noises and scared everybody. But the people who liked the technology were basically pitted against the people who had the established practices because they didn't want to change. One rule in life is change takes effort. People don't want to put the effort into change unless they have to. So Morse code is invented in 1837, photography in 1838, 1851, the Great Exhibition, ice cream in 1851. Again, I would question whether that's true. Here's a scary one. In 1864, they say jelly babies were invented. We're not quite sure what a jelly baby is, but I'm sure it's an English dessert. The penny farthing bicycle is invented in 72. The typewriter, the phonograph. So this is just all the invention during Queen Victoria's reign. The phonograph, the camera, the moving pictures, the wireless radio. All of that happened in her reign from 1837 to 1901. Oh my gosh, he was there forever. Okay, let's stop here. Time is required for implementation of inventions. Your vocabulary assignment is not due, so I will extend that to the next time period, and we'll have some more fun with this. Great projects, great ideas, and great conversations. Really fun class, okay? Everyone can go. You're all set. You can hang out if you need help.
Bye.
Come to Wednesday if you need help with your assignments or getting anything done.
Bye.
Bye.
For the project, are we supposed to talk about one technology or two?
For this project?
Yeah, the project, yeah.
This project, all you need to do is read the sheet. This project, you are supposed to show, first a name card, then a timeline of your invention, then the original inventor and the original invention, and 5 innovations of that invention.
Okay, so we only talk about one invention. Okay.
You're talking about the evolution of one invention.
Okay,
exactly.
I thought it was 2 for a second. Okay.
No, just one.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Anybody else? Any questions, problems? Yafet, you okay?
I have a question.
Sure.
I have chosen to do the space travel.
What's happening?
Space travel.
I can't understand.
The assignment, I have chosen to do the space travel.
Okay. Yeah.
And the timeline is a little different because it's a lot, and I didn't put a picture for it.
Whatever you can do. Trust me, I am not going to be overly critical. I want you to be creative. I want you to try and fulfill what you need. What are you working on?
Space travel.
Okay. So, in the timeline, you can just give again, something very basic. Just, you can list, it could even be, a timeline could just be a list of the different innovations and then, a date beside each one.
I have finished it. Can I show you?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
And again, I wouldn't be too worried. I am interested in your creativity. I am interested in how you interpret the instructions and figure this stuff out. Wow. I see what you mean. So, cool.
So I did not put a picture for the space, for the timeline.
That is totally fine. But I believe you're going way above and beyond. Okay, so this is beautiful. You will do very well. I can tell you right now. What you did is you're being too thorough. When we're trying to do, this is supposed to be 6, 7 slides, your timeline, you're never going to be able to explore this entire timeline. So ideally, what you should be showing me is just the timeline of your innovations that you're looking at. I'm not saying to change a thing. Yafet, do not touch this. Just turn this in and you will get a perfect score. What I am saying is for the future, too much material can be as bad as too little material. You can't figure out what it is you want to look at or what you want to see. I appreciate that you have made an exhaustive list of all the innovations of spaceflight. That is awesome and really cool. And most of all, I think that it's interesting for you to see how these things have happened over time. But for a project, you want to compact it down. It's the idea of bullet points. You just want to hit the high points. You want to help me to understand what was the start of space flight and where are we now? And then just tick off a couple key innovations between there for the timeline. Then you're going to explain what is on, what the first innovation was, what those next ones are, and then give your citations. This is really beautiful. This is incredible work. I can't wait to see it and go through it all. But what you've done is you've created an A+ project. That you have done very exhaustive, thorough work. And for a lot of these projects, you're not necessarily trying to say everything that's been done or everything that's known about something like spaceflight. You're trying to focus it on these couple innovations that you think are most interesting. And that will help you because it will give you a tighter focus and you're not going to have to go through so much stuff to assemble all the pieces of your project. But this just looks beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So thank you for staying. And do always ask me or shoot me an email. I will help you any way I can. And if you're not understanding the documents or what it's asking you, just let me know. I'll go through it with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Bye.
I'm here to support you because you support me. So we're a team. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
I will try my hardest.